Quite an important one. Big Dinner FC currently sitting at 1-4 in IGL Fall 2020, right about to be knocked out of playoff contention. If they lose this one, they have a very good chance of missing the playoffs this year and having to wait until the winter circuit. Pantheon pretty much secured a spot at the playoffs, but it's going to still be in their best interest to get a third win on the board here. GCG, you can see right there, already trying to push this up. Doi assisting in the corner, and it is going to be an early attack, but no follow through off that setup. Doi trying just to get himself out over in front of the ball, ends up bumping one away, but unfortunately ends up against Churroboro, and that's going to force the ball back into the blue end. It's over in front of this blue goal. It can't quite find the net, but it's finally going to sneak by Churroboro, but not by Doi McFunks as he gets it back to the midfield. It's an 8-ball shot, but denied by the orange defender. As you can see right here, Bobbert trying just to push up the midfield line, try to turn this around. Quinn going to be catching the ball, gets it actually away from Cronin Chaser, and that's going to open up GCG for a shot. Misses. Churroboro comes with the follow through, and Chronic is going to be able to take it in the end. It's going to be over into mid. Quinn does try to get it past the defenders, but GCG on the wall, forced to play it down. It's going to be hit back towards mid, back over in front of the goal, and Doi McFunks just getting himself barely out of the way so that it gets denied away from that save. And just a really good follow through from Doi McFunks. Sorry, it was GCG actually having to move out of the way as Doi just sinks that one into an open net. 1 minute already passed. You can tell Big Dinner's here to win. They know what's on the line, and they are looking to deliver. They want to get up to a 2-4 score line. That 1-5 would not be well. And Quinn tries to get them out of the end. Chronic Asher does start to push up, starts to get it out, and actually forces out a 50, but Doi going to intercept. A bump away, opens up Bobbert for a clear, but a little bit of an overzealous commitment. That's going to leave Quinn with the ball. Down into the blue end. Down over into the midfield. Bobbert trying to pressure, and he does take control, getting it back over towards the front left corner, and Asher just trying to do what he can to get this back over into the midfield. It's centered for Quinn. Asher looking for a shot, and Bobbert to try to follow through, and it's equalized. With 3 minutes on the clock, we will see an equalizing goal. Took a minute for Big Dinner to open up and another minute to equalize, but we're finally here. Apologize once again for any stuttering you're seeing on your screen. The recorded VOD up on YouTube will be good, but this looks like we're experiencing some internet issues. But who isn't is Doi McFunks trying just to follow this up, gets it towards net. It's down to Bobbert. It's over to Joe Churro's go, and he does try to commit, does force a 50, but it's back towards the blue goal and now hit out towards the back corner. Has to try to clear this away. Bureau gets it to the wall, trying to get this out over mid, and Asher reads it back to the corner. It's getting met by GCG. Does touch it up against that wall, and Asher trying to see if he can sneak this by, but it's going to be Bobbert to force the issue, and it's going to be put down mid. Quinn already here. Tries to get a shot towards goal. It's a little too soft. Bobbert almost sneaking that one by. GCG getting a bump for his trouble. 0 boost. Just trying to play this over in mid for whatever he can. But Bobbert still just trying to force this ball in. It's back over to Doi, forced off Quinn. Bouncing mid, it's going to get caught yet again and bounce back over in front of the orange goal. It's over to Churroboro in this corner. Tries to take possession, gets it off the wall, but demoed for the effort, and that's going to leave Bobbert with the ball. 2 minutes, still a tied game here at 1-1. And we're trying to see if anybody can find some way to get this ball into the net. You can see Quinn trying to set up a pass. It's actually a nice lob, but not quite on. Chronic tries to follow that through, and GCG forced to make a save right on the goal line. A quick shot from Quinn almost secures up the lead, but Churroboro clearing away. Chronic to fight him, and it's going to be going back over towards mid. Rolling across, and it's going to just drop straight down onto Bureau, and that's going to leave Bobbert with a shot. Doi to hit it away, gets it into the corner, tries to take possession on the wall, but Quinn intercepting, but gets demoed for the effort. And now Doi bumped away. A nice denial on that offense is going to allow Chronic Asher to push up, and Bureau gets a hit over into that corner. A little bit of a scary shot to go for, but 78 seconds, and 1 goal is basically all that's needed now to seal up game 1 for either side. Quinn trying to open up something. Chronic tries to take it, but Doi intercepts in time. It's back over to the orange end. Bobbert to catch. Gets it back to this corner. Trying to play it out against GCG, but can't quite do it. Hits it back over to the wall. Churroburo to follow. And it's over, rolling towards this net, and just getting hit back and forth in this corner for the past 30 seconds. Finally going out towards mid. Ooh. And Asher, in an effort to get it away from the offense, does hit it back towards his own goal. Quinn to retake, goes over towards the goal, and he cleared away. Bouncing mid, Chronic Asher potentially had a shot, so just sitting on the wall to deny anything. GCG no boost, though, to follow through. 30 seconds. Doi to pressure. It's already beat out by Asher. That's going to go down to GCG. Wins the fight. Gets it over mid. And Doi, the backflip to get it into the orange end. GCG follows. It's not quite on net, but it's rolling down in front of the goal. With a save away, though, that's going to leave it mid. Bobbert hitting it against the wall. Quinn trying to follow through. That's lobbing off the backboard. That's centering in front of the goal. Churroburo bumped away, but the ball's not on. It's over into the corner. Trying to follow through here. Doi McFunks. Go Churros, go. Everybody getting a part of the action, but it's going to be killed. We're going to see overtime here in game one. Doi McFunks meets up against Quinn. Bobbert had falled off to get some boost, and he's going to be allowed to reaggress. Bobbert actually following through. GCG with the read in mid, forces a 50 over out into the wall. And now Churroburo traveling up. Gets the ball, but out by Asher, and that's going to go back down to the blue end. Doi does touch it away, but Asher's already here off the backboard, trying to set up a follow-up shot, and Bobbert's going to do it. And just like that, it only takes 25 seconds of overtime to seal off game one. And that's Bobbert hitting a crisp shot straight over GCG, and Churroburo just a second too early. Pantheon takes game one. Big Dinner FC, they were off to a good start, but they let it slip away. They have to try to fight back before this game's over to get themselves back into playoff contention. Again, I will apologize real quick for any internet issues. I will take just a second to see if they can be resolved. But it looks like the stream may just be lagging. I think the apartment Wi-Fi is just shot right now. But as always, the VOD will be up afterwards for an uninterrupted viewing experience. Loading straight into game two. Pantheon stealing away at game one after equalizing and forcing it to an overtime. Big Dinner have 3 to go if they want to try to get themselves into playoffs. There is always a chance to make it if they do not win, but definitely going to be wanting that secured spot. Bobbert goes back mid, and Doi actually going to force out the offense against Chronic Asher, and Quinn trying to steal that one away, and Churroburo just a quick shot over. Nobody able to get back in time, and once again, Big Dinner FC opening early. A quick, clean goal there from Churroburo. Straight into the top left as well. What accuracy. So 15 seconds. Big Dinner back in the fight. They are looking to try to bite back, get that equalizer in the series, and fight their way into the playoffs. Churroburo taps it off the wall. Asher lobs it high. Quinn, an immediate follow through, but he doesn't connect. That's going to leave it, but GCG not connecting, and now it's just Bureau waiting in the goal, trying to figure out who the hell is going to hit this ball to him. Finally goes up, hits it himself, gets it over one barely, but Bobbert able to steal that one back into the corner. Center it mid, actually ends up just leaving it, but Asher's there to try to follow. Doi McFunks is on this wall, but it taps mid. To open midfield, that's a dangerous one. Doi McFunk's trying to follow, can't quite get himself onto the ball. That's going to be a shot denied, and Bobbert kills it to the corner. GCG trying just to touch this one mid, see if he can find anything. Bobbert to pass up the wall to Asher. Does redirect on, but it doesn't quite go in, and Bobbert just going to save that away towards the corner. A risky lob, though, pinched off the corner. Opens up Doi, but once again, just not able to connect. And it's going to be GCG trying to follow. Forces a 50 back in front of this goal. No connection from Bobbert, but the 50 from Bureau ends up getting that ball back into the blue end. A touch from Doi to kill it mid. And they're just trying to see if they can get this ball into the orange end yet again. So many shots just getting it into the blue, but they can't quite seem to find the net. Bobbert a back pass, but Quinn not quite expecting it. A little bit too far forward, pinches mid. Has to be a touch from Bobbert, kills it to GCG, who is just going to turn the offense back around. A fake, gets it into the corner, pinches it mid. Churroborough actually now has to fall back. That's a goal, and he barely gets back in time to save it. Oh, and a missed opportunity there for the Pantheon side. What a risky situation to be in there for the Big Dinner FC side. At first glance, there was absolutely nothing going wrong, and it's a forced save, but a good one to make. As it's hit back towards mid. Bobbert aggressing, does get this back towards mid a bit. Into the corner. Back up to the wall. Churroborough back past to GCG. Actually opens up a clear, but Asher intercepts a nice double touch off the side. And that's going to open up Doy McFunks. Back into the corner. Low boost, though, as Asher going to be able to grab that one on his way out. Quinn intercepts, but it's not a clear. Oh, it's mid, and Bobbert having to bump an offender, ends up having to miss the ball for the trouble, and Churroborough tries to intercept, isn't able to do it. Quinn getting a shot over in front of the goal, a back pass to Bureau as GCG bumps one away, and now the offense back into this orange end. It's lobbed mid. It's a Met in the middle, but Doy McFunk's going to win out about a second there before Chronic Asher can get anything into the ball. And it's going to be GCG hitting it mid. He can't exactly follow this through. He can try to stall it, but no teammate there to follow through. Gonna get hit along the wall, some momentum to try to get him back. Doy trying to play this, and GCG finally allowed back into the action, but hits it mid. Goes back over to Bureau. Gets it back over to Bobbert, who's gonna just kill it off this wall. And Doy McFunk's falling off finally. Quinn kills it back into the corner. They're still leading by one here, Big Dinner, and they might just hold it to a 1-0 game. Looking to get a second, though. Go Churros, go back to mid. Churroborough trying just to open himself into the fight, but Quinn clears it away. Asher to play. To touch mid, 80 seconds. And the time is ticking further and further, and Pantheon just can't seem to find a shot. Doy tries to intercept. Bobbert wins it, but GCG's there. Kills it back to the corner. 70 seconds. The time just ticking further and further down, and they are not allowing anything here on this blue side. It's touched mid. Doy opening up maybe a potential for a shot, ends up delaying it a bit, but his teammate comes through for the follow, and that is going to be a shot in from Doy McFunks 2 to get the second of the game. And look at that. Just a good delay there from Bureau, and Doy, nice adjustment there on the ball just to drop it in. Couldn't quite clear it there on the defense, but a good shot nonetheless from Doy McFunks. And a good pass as well. Quinn goes up, tries to follow through off that kickoff, and Churroborough tries as well. It's just going to drop here on the orange side. 45 seconds. Has to be a fast attack here from the Pantheon side, or they're looking to get equalized already in this match. 40 seconds to go. That 80 has dropped down even more. It's been halved, and Doy McFunks almost gets the double touch to get a hat trick lead, but it's going to be touched mid. All three committed into this orange end, and if you're on the Pantheon side, that's exactly what you want to see. You want to see those over-aggressions, try to just open up something towards the goal, but they can't quite seem to find the net, and with the time ticking down to 15, it just seems like Big Dinner have found their footing and managed to get themselves back with a third goal at the end just to boot. So Doy McFunks coming through for his second of the game and his third of the match for the team. It's going to be a 3-0 scoreline, taking them into this final, or not final, sorry, this third game. Could have been the final game had it been won out by the Pantheon side, but of course, as you can see, it was not. A very well played match there from Big Dinner FC to shut out the opposition and get themselves back into the running. 2 games to go for either side. It's basically a best of 3 at this point. Are Pantheon going to be able to knock Big Dinner out of playoffs, or will Big Dinner start what they hope will be a fantasy run through to the finals? Hopping into the wrong team there for a second. Just want to see what it's like to experience life on the pitch as these guys. We're gonna see. It's Big Dinner loading back in. Pantheon loading back in. Losing a I want to say close, but a very dominating game from Big Dinner just to deny, and a dominating kickoff from GCG to open up Game 3. They scored fast last time to get an early lead, and they are going to keep it up. Very well executed shot off the kickoff, and that is going to lead to the first lead of Game 3. Big Dinner looking to try to get themselves back into this match in style. They've equalized it. GCG, a little bit too overzealous on that offense, isn't quite able to get that away. Get it into the goal, sorry. Doy McFunks touches it to the corner. Chronic Asher to retake control. It's hit back mid, Churroboro to follow. It's just going to be a fall away there from Doy McFunks. We don't want to allow any shots towards goal, and Quinn almost sneaks one by, but it's off net. Almost another follow through. Bobbert finds the top crossbar, but it's going to go over to Doy McFunks. Can't quite redirect in. Looks like it was actually lagging off his car a little bit. Too unfortunate, but it's going to be bouncing back over into this blue corner, and now trying to follow through. Chronic Asher lobbing it over towards the goal. Bobbert almost double touching it in, but it's just so close and no cigar. He's been so close every attack, but he can't quite seem to find anything other than that crossbar. He is able to deny it in his own goal, though, as he stops one on the goal line. Trying to travel this up. Nice aerial shot, actually hits it off a defender, and that's going to bounce in front of the goal. Churroboro has to play up, doesn't connect. Doy McFunk's forced to clear, touches it, tries to play it out, and he does. It's back to the corner. It's going to be hit back over into mid. It's going to get hit back over into this orange corner, and now bouncing mid. It's a follow through from GCG, and he's going to be the one to do it, the one to get the second goal on the board. And you can just see how aggressive these Big Dinner boys are, forcing out a triple commit, and so many cars just falling in front of the goal. It's like a shooting gallery from GCG, but the only target he sees is the net. 3 minutes 40. Doy McFunks follows. It's a 50 forced and a 51 over into this orange end. Churroboro tries to follow. A little bit of a mistiming is going to lead to the ball bouncing back over to Bobbert. Doy McFunks touched off the corner, touched back over towards the goal, and now Quinn tries to sneak one by, can't quite do it, and it's going to be back over to the wall with Churroboro. Back over to GCG. Going over into this corner, and it's going to get touched mid again. Doy McFunks to follow, and Doy McFunks to score as he pogo shots it directly under the last defender and secures up the hat trick lead with 3 minutes left on the clock. A very nicely executed shot. It was exactly where that ball's going, and it is not a hard one to sink in from there. So a 3-0. 3 minutes left to go. We're almost into halftime, and just nothing being found from Pantheon. This man Bobbert, you've been seeing, he's been trying to make something happen on the offense, but he just can't find it. It's going to go over off the backboard. Quinn to try to follow, but GCG catches. Gets it back over to himself, and Bobbert does get in the way. Opens up an attack. The 50 not quite going the orange way, but Quinn's follow through does delay a shot. Churroboro tries to follow, get it over towards the net. Doesn't quite connect, but GCG will. It's back to the orange goal. Bobbert to follow. Tries to read as well, but no connection from the blue end. Going to leave him aimless and drifting. As now Quinn hitting that ball off the corner. It's touched back over by Bureau into the corner. And Asher getting a lobbing shot towards goal. Doy McFunks to kill it. Asher just not letting the shot slip away. GCG finally just booming it mid. And it's going to be going up this wall. 2 minutes, 130 seconds left on the clock here for these two teams to try to finish it up. And for Big Dinner, all they have to do right now is focus on denying shots on goal. But Asher getting one straight behind GCG, and you could see he tries just to adjust and stall his car back where he thinks it'll go, but too much goal to cover at too tight of an angle, and that will do it. The first of 3 needed to try to secure an overtime here for Pantheon. It's going to be a bit of a different kickoff there from Quinn, but what a follow through. Bobbert getting it back towards his own goal. Asher luckily able to get that away, but it's going to get hit back over, back towards this orange end, and Doy McFunk's already following. It's one out by Bobbert, but killed by Churroboro. Going to be GCG to try to follow. Hits it off the corner. And it's going to be boomed back into this end. Quinn isn't quite in a position where he can play off that, but Doy McFunk's in an even worse lie. He has to try to find a way to fight back in, and Quinn gives him the time to reaggress. 90 seconds as it's still down by 2 here on the Pantheon side. Big Dinner perfectly willing just to delay it and wait out the time until this can slip into their grasp. GCG keeping this ball in front of the orange goal. Asher killing it. It's going to be lobbed again by GCG in a double commit. Quinn bumping Bobbert out of the way. That leaves only 1 in goal. GCG tries to catch it off Doi just to fake out the defense. And it's 63 seconds. No goals scored here from Big Dinner in a while, but they don't need to. They just need to focus on keeping the ball away from their own. Not too successful right now, but Doi wins out, but Quinn reads it, gets it boomed into this orange end, though, GCG, and just not allowing any sort of shot to go unpunished for too long. Back to Doi. Gonna get touched over, and it is gonna be caught there from Chronic Asher. Bobbert to try to play this on the wall, but Charo intercepts. It's just another pinch off the wall back into the orange end. They don't need to get shots. They just need to get hits, and that's all they're doing here, Big Dinner. They don't need to get any more aggressive than they are. And the double commit on offense going to cost even more time here for Pantheon, time that they just quite frankly don't have. And Quinn kills it. GCG touching it past everybody, and now it's a forced save with only 12 seconds to go. 10 as the clock continues to tick down. It is going to be looking like, as Churro saves the only thread of hope they had from going in, a 2-1 lead for Big Dinner FC going into match point. And after the first game, you thought that Pantheon might be able to fight back. Game 2 definitely went the Big Dinner way. Game 3, not much of a different story, and now Big Dinner 1 game away from getting themselves into the playoffs, and Pantheon going to be looking to shut that down if they can. They need 2 to win, but Big Dinner going to be sitting up there on a crisp match point. You can hear the engines revving up, everybody absolutely ready to get this one underway. Try to figure out if Big Dinner will be going through to the playoffs. Certainly looks like it right now. Doi McFunk's definitely trying to keep it alive as he gets over in front of that ball. Leaves it for Bureau. It's just going to boom it downfield, and Doi might be able to redirect this in. Doesn't quite hit the follow-through, and Churro tries on the fall-away just to hit one in, and Chronic Asher denies. It's back to the corner. It's going to be over. And Bobbert getting a little overzealous. Churro outreads him, gets it against the wall, but Quinn to follow through. Getting Doi on the way as well, so this is going to be a very strong offense, and it's going to be just dropped right in from Bobbert right on the goal line. Quinn getting a very nice pass off a demo just to open up that goal, and Churro, it's just too far over him, and they even get the lo-fi as they're sucked into the eternal void. You know, that's always great. Always nice to have a buddy when you're going through that, but 30 seconds to go, and Churro back to the corner. Bobbert touches it mid. That actually might turn into a shot, but Doi kills it. Back over to Quinn. Up to the wall, and it's a double commit, but Bureau wins the ball. Doi to follow. Actually gets this on the wall, and he's taking possession, but Asher kills. Can't quite get this away. GCG does win out against 1. Can't win out against 2. He actually does. He forces the ball away, but Quinn, a lobbing shot. Doi just kills it to the corner. 4 minutes, and Big Dinner, they know that they can get shots on net. They're not too worried, and not just like that. GCG, is that in? It is. And as I'm saying, they're not too worried about getting shots on net. They just need to focus on clearing this ball away. And he does that and gets a shot on net. That's what we call multitasking, ladies and gentlemen, as finally it is an equalizer scored from Big Dinner, and Pantheon, their early lead evaporated. We're going to have to look to get another one, and the ball just zooming past every single one of them straight off the kickoff. 75 seconds elapsed in the series so far. We're trying to see how exactly much more we'll get to see. It's Churro trying to follow through. GCG gets it over 1. That leaves it for him. A little bit of a delay, perhaps a pass to GCG, but the flip just not there for him. Asher a touchback mid. Churro to follow, and actually off GCG's pass, this could turn out to be a phenomenal shot, but it's met by Bobbert, and the 50 forces it back down to the blue end. It's going to be Bobbert just trying to play this off the drop, but there's too many defenders here he has to try to outread. GCG does try to follow, ends up just going to the ceiling, and Churro looked like he might get bumped there, had to be a little bit careful, and with 0 boost actually in quite an awkward spot, but Doi gets a hit. Gets it mid. Churro still with 0 boost. He's trying to do what he can, but GCG going to be the one forced to save this in the back end. Quinn can't quite get that ball directed on net. Back passes to the teammate, but Doy McFunks comes off the backboard to get it away. It's touched over. Bobbert trying to outplay everybody who's trying to leave the blue end, and he just can't do it. GCG too smart, gets it back mid. Trying just to read this. Bobbert is able to outplay him. He gets a potential shot at a double touch, but it's off the top board. Can't quite direct it on, but Asher is there to follow through. Churro to save to the corner. 2 minutes 20, we're 10 seconds into the second half, and Churro manages to fake out Quinn. Doesn't manage to fake out Bobbert, though, and Chronic already here for a shot, and they just can't deny it. Doy McFunk's in the goal, but just doesn't have the angle on that one, and a fast, low shot at the goal. Going to be very easily sunk in there from Chronic Asher to get Pantheon back in the lead for a shot at Game 5. You can just see they're doing a much better job at keeping the ball in the blue end just so much longer than they have been, but a potential kickoff saved by Quinn. GCG follows. And they have to try to just keep up this aggression, Pantheon. You can see GCG falls off the ball. Bobbert not quite able to follow, and it just seems like everybody's whiffing on this wall today. Bureau bumped. That opens up Quinn, actually, but the follow-through not there. It's going to be Doy to play it. And the pre-flip, actually, to win out that ball in the corner. Showboating a little bit as he's just getting fancy with it to the corner. GCG wins it against the corner, and now getting bumped away is going to leave Quinn with the ball. Doy meets him. Tap to Bobbert. It's just going to be a boomer into the corner. Quinn touches it off the wall. Now trying to play this up. GCG can't connect. Churro tries to get himself back in front of this, and he actually will force a 50 straight over to Bobbert. Can't get a boomer of his own, so it's just going to be a lie over towards this goal. It's over one, though, and Doy McFunks has to clear it high. Has to come through all the way in the end, and what a close goal denied there from Doy McFunks. Almost certainly would have been the deciding game. But it's going to be hit back over in front of the net. It's rolling mid. With only Bobbert committed into this blue end, there's plenty of opportunity for the defenders to try to reaggress this. And GCG, a touch away. A much needed one, but 50 seconds. They need to start getting touches towards the other net. Chronic Asher tries to sneak one in. Churro to follow. Bobbert has to fall back with 0 boost. And this is going to be a ball rolling towards his own goal. Doy McFunk's getting demoed by Chronic Asher, and now GCG has to try to play this up. Bobbert still no boost. Is going to be allowed to refuel if he so wishes, but 25 seconds. It has to be an attack. A hit over mid. Asher to try to force. Doy gets it against him, and Doy wants to try to play this out. Tries to read the clear, isn't able to do it. 15 seconds back to the blue end. It's in the corner. Quinn following through, can't connect onto the ball. GCG, this is their last attempt. They have to try to open up something, and Doy gets it back mid. It's off the corner. It's over. It's bouncing in front of the goal, and they're just trying to bump him away, but Doy McFunk's not allowing it. Pinched off over into mid, and nobody going to be able to get back, so Pantheon fight their way back in, and we're gonna see a Game 5. As we load into the pitch for our final time, it is one simple question on the board. Will Big Dinner FC be making it into playoffs this season? We've seen flashes of brilliance from them in so many games, but they have been denied time and time again. But here we go, into a nail-biting 5th game. The internet finally coming back as well, so we can deliver this live in person to you. As Churro tries to follow through, leaves it for GCG, wins out a 50, and that's going into the orange end. Bobbert there, tries to follow this through. He has a good angle on it, but he's met by Bureau, and that's going to win the ball over towards mid. It's over along this wall. Bureau can try to turn, and he does leave it for GCG, but read out by Chronic, and that's going to be a hit back towards Bureau. Leaves it for Doy, isn't quite able to get it past Bobbert there, and Quinn not connecting. That opens up Doy for a shot, but it's off the top crossbar. Can't capitalize on the open net. Churro trying to come through and do it, and he will. It is going to be a pogo shot straight into the left crossbar to get the first goal on the board here for Big Dinner FC. A strong start that they need to keep if they want to make it into these playoffs. There's 4:17 left to go. This kickoff crucial. GCG tries to get it over into the orange end, but it's going to end up going to Chronic Asher in mid. leaving it a bit, and that's going to allow GCG to get back into the action. But Quinn reads it out, Bureau to follow, kills it. Asher already reaggressing this, gets it over to Doi, who will touch this back towards the orange goal. GCG no boost to follow that through, so just trying to refuel while the teammates try to clear it away. Doi takes control. Churroboro faking a bit, is there to follow and actually delays the ball, but Chronic Asher can't redirect that one in, but redirects it towards the goal, forces out a clear from Doi, and it's back over to Quinn. A lobber too high, and GCG, he's trying to play it, trying just to see if he can take control and get the ball upfield, but he waits too long, and that allows a perfect center to come through for Bobbert, who just sinks it in over his head. And a little bit of a mistiming, a misread there from GCG, going to allow the equalizer to come through, and Pantheon starting to fight their way back in. GCG trying to go up the wall, see if he can initialize with this shot, but he can't. Asher forces a 50, and it's going to be going over into the blue end, but Churroboro to take possession, misreads the ball a bit, does hit it down, but Bobbert, already a booming shot, has to be denied by GCG. It's back over off the backboard. It's over to Chronic Asher, that's a shot, Doi has to save. It's over into the mid. Chronic a demo onto Churroboro, leaves GCG alone in the orange end, and no follow through from Asher. That's going to open up a shot, but GCG hits it to the corner. Trying just to win out against Bobbert. Doi McFunks finally gets it past. GCG a read off the wall, but Quinn reads as well, and that's going to leave it floating towards this orange goal, but it can't go in until Doi McFunks 2. He just likes to wait until there's an opportunity to show off the namesake so he can get the second goal of the game and get them back into a lead. As straight into the second minute, we've got Big Dinner reclaiming. Up 2-1 again, a very nice read from Doi McFunks to catch that pass and sink it straight into the net. But Quinn wants to bite back immediately. It's over to Bobbert. It's a fast shot, but Churro kills it high. High being the operative word because it was a potential for a follow-through, but nobody there to capitalize. It's back over. Doi to touch it mid. Oh no, that's an opening up for Chronic Asher, and he just can't quite get the ball past GCG. It's too high, and it's cleared away. Another ball going high, but this time a double commit on the wall leaves a little bit more favorable of a situation on the Pantheon side, but Bureau able to start getting this ball out mid. Ooh, touches it away just after that aggressor falls away, and that's going to leave Bureau back towards mid. Passes it back over to Doi. GCG trying to catch that shot and redirect, but he can't quite do it. Churroboro waiting, trying to see what's happening. The shot not quite on, but that's going to open it up for Bobbert, who just tries to get it in, but I believe he saved it. I believe he hit it off the top crossbar. It bounced in along, and he accidentally touched it over right. And what a heartbreaker there, because he does absolutely everything to try to get that one in, and it's just denied time and time again on the crossbar. It's going over. Quinn, a read. GCG does manage to hit it away, but Asher is trying to follow through. Bureau demoing Quinn, and that's going to weaken up this defense, allowing Bureau to take a little bit of extra time. Only 90 seconds left, and they're still up by one, Big Dinner. All they have to do is hold this lead, and playoffs are secured. They can live to fight another day and perhaps even face off against Pantheon in the best of sevens, but Pantheon looking to shut that down. They need to find something, and the demo from Quinn is a good start. A boomer, not quite on though, and that's going to allow Bureau to play this away. Over into the midfield, Asher tries to follow this through, but low boost doesn't allow him to do much with it off of the ceiling. Now touching it mid. Gonna open up. GCG actually bumping Bureau away there a little bit, maybe a little bit of roughhousing, and we've got a Rule 1. Doi McFunks locked into the corner against Chronic Asher, and it's currently a one-goal game. Bobbert comes through to demo and breaks the Rule 1, but you guys know what they say. Whoever breaks it is going to have to pay. Doi McFunks is able to get back to save that shot, and the ball hit away. We're getting a little bit of packet loss on the server. I believe that's just on my end. I hope it is at least. And Doi McFunks kills it over to the orange end. And you never know, that Rule 1 magic could have been just what they needed. Maybe they could have won out in the 2v2. And you got to think about it. It's an active decision they made to go and demo, and that's going to allow a shot from Bobbert that just can't be denied, and the curse comes through. Doi McFunks demoed in the Rule 1, and Churroboro finally collecting the debt. And you got to actually think about it. I mean, we meme on it a lot, but if they're confident in their 2s game, they definitely could have tried just to keep playing that, force out the 2v2, and just win out, because Doi McFunks has been a spot-on player. If you just feel confident in winning against GCG, you could have just stayed back and tried to win the 2s game, but it doesn't matter now, because that will be Big Dinner FC sneaking by with a 3-2 win to get themselves into IGL Fall 2020 playoffs.